Excellent. This is the People's Advocate. Iana Louise, still in audio format for the week. We're still moving things, guys. But I am here. So I just had to stop what I was doing because, and I don't want to start these the same way each time, but, you know, like me interjecting into something that I was doing because I just had to add a point, but I just had to interject and add a point. So I was listening to Kyle Kulinski. I was watching the Kyle Kulinski Show. Yes, I watch Kyle Kulinski. I'm on the left. He is a leftist commentator. If you're a leftist and you're not watching Kyle Kulinski, I don't know. That's weird to me for you to decide to do that, but I mean, go off, you know, it's fine. But I was watching him and he was talking about something, that Crystal talked about 2 days ago, because of course he was. No, I'm kidding. But he was talking about the Latinx debate and how many people who would actually be considered Latinx don't like that phrase and wouldn't call themselves that, and how a large percentage of them are actually kind of offended by it. At some point, this kind of morphs into the defund the police slogan, because he was talking about how language, when we're trying to push popular policy positions or whatever, matters, and how good slogans can be more useful, yada yada yada. He's not wrong, but I'm more in the lane with Brianna Joy Gray on this, and I mean, or at least that's what I thought. So if I understand where she's landed on the defund the police issue, it's like the slogan is irrelevant. It's the policy changes we're trying to make behind the slogan that need to be discussed. And if you are choosing to continue to harp on the slogan, a slogan you must have if you are having that debate looked up and understood, or at least will have explained to you by the end of the conversation you're engaging in. If you're still focusing on that, you're op. Like, I mean, that's my phrasing. I don't think she called anybody op, but I'm saying, like, you're op. Like, if you are listening to people talking about how they want to create social programs and create less hostile police forces, and you're just like, yeah, but is this the best way to sell this? Why are you selling it like this? Okay, first of all, if that's really your position, why don't you go think of another way to sell it? Because I'm hearing all this, why are you phrasing it that way? You should change it. Why are you phrasing it like that? But I mean, if that's your position and you're just so concerned that it's not going to get off the ground, you know, it's not going to get any air, you know, with this, it's not going to get any lift. Where's your alternative? So it's just, that's a dead-ended point that I don't think does anything at this point. And second of all, obviously, why is that your main focus? It isn't as if you don't understand what we're talking about. If you're concerned enough about the slogan, right, tanking the whole operation, then you must know what the whole operation is. So if you get airtime, or if you get any amount of time to talk about defund the police, and you're talking about this bullshit, you are op. Defund the police is not even an uncompromised position, which is something Brianna Joy Gray did point out. Abolish the police is what anarchists were screaming, okay, is what the really fed up people were screaming. So defund the police, if you are just hung up at on that and you refuse to move past that conversation, I had some life stuff going on, so I kind of stopped following the whole defund the police thing for a second, because I mean, it really seemed like that was the end of the conversation. Like, oh, this slogan doesn't work, so we're just not gonna do it. And obviously in America, I'm like, that's on brand, you know. I completely expected, and you know, I'm not shocked by that. But it's picked back up, and it's exactly where we dropped it. And I'm like, guys, this is the stupidest thing ever. Are we going to defund these motherfuckers or not? Because I don't care. I don't care if it is offensive to you that I don't want you to have military grade weaponry in my residential neighborhood. I don't care if it makes you feel bad that I want you to have less money to allocate towards violence in my community. And if you're so busy sobbing about the fact that I'm not phrasing this in the softest way, you are op. You're the opposition, and you need to check yourself, preferably prior to wrecking yourself, because you're not focused on the right thing. And somebody has clearly gotten into your mind and made you think that you can't accomplish anything, so you dare not even try. So you just stop at this one thing, and you're like, well, I can't do this because I haven't figured out that. No. No. We've got the ideas behind the slogan. That's what we need to be discussing. So that's my general takeaway from that. Now, Kyle And people on his side of the argument would of course come back and say, but as you pointed out, it's not gone anywhere. But my argument is that that doesn't actually have to do with the fact that the slogan is bad, but with the fact that people are still talking about the slogan. So I guess the solution, one might say, is, well, then change the slogan and no one will talk about it. Well, I mentioned that in one of my first points. If you're so upset about the slogan, where is your recommendation for a different one? I'm fine with defund the police. I think we can just call it that and then do the things that we need to do. And if people stop us and are like, what do you mean defund the police? We can tell them to shut up and use Google. Or we can talk to them politely and hand them a pamphlet that we have prepared with a bunch of alternative slogans listed on the back for their fifis. But like, as far as like, we can't do anything on this matter because the slogan is bad? No, there is a lot of support for the policies behind the slogan defund the police. Maybe not for the slogan itself, but for the policies behind it, yes. So that's what we need to be focusing on. If people are already down with the cause, then that should be kind of what we're like harping on to the people in power. You know, not yelling across the table at ourselves in a giant leftist board meeting about how to never get anything done. So, I don't know. I just had to stop what I was doing, comment on that, because I mean, I respect Kyle, I respect Brianna, and I see the merit in both of their points, but as somebody who is in the community directly affected by not defunding the police, you know, I'm a black woman, I have no more patience for this conversation. And if you continue it, and if you give validity to it, like, you're sus. Now, I get it, but either come with solutions, like as in another slogan that I focus grouped it, this one works great, and it gets everybody on board, and similar slogans have shown it. No, but no one's coming with that because y'all aren't ready for the actual change. Okay, that's 2 cents for another day. But I think that we want to stop right here and say, well, I'm for defund the police and do a little curtsy. And this is a point that Kyle made, but no matter which side of it you're on, discussing it without talking about the policy behind it and pushing the people in power to enact the policies behind the slogan, it's us. It's a waste of time. So, a little bit more impromptu than usual, but yeah, it's my 2 cents and a quarter. I gotta go defund the police. Bye.